G'day, welcome back to another video. I'm going down to check out the Heytesbury-Mount Noorat clubs, an area that I've wanted to go to for a while, but on the road trip here, I've stopped at Penshurst. The Penshurst Bombers play in the Minnanira and District Football League, the league based around Hamilton and south of Ararat. As you can see, the ground is getting an upgrade. You've heard of the dirt football ground in Queenstown? Well, how about Penshurst? Obviously, this isn't the actual footy oval. Usually they've actually won the premiership this year, Penshurst, in the Minnanira. Here's the upgrade, over $150,000 going towards upgrade and resurface of this oval, and completion in 2026. So are they not going to play next year? I'm not too sure. I haven't worked that one out, but very nice scoreboard over here. I think they might be getting a bit of money from the farmers around the place. Nice setting with the little oval, with the mountain in the background of the oval, sorry. I quite like the Penshurst jumper of black and red hoops. You don't see it too often. It's quite traditional. They're 150 years old this year. It actually looks like the part of the plan is to demolish this club room and build a new one. So lucky I've got here in time to document it. Would be nice to have a bit of an upgrade, I reckon. It's a bit aging, I suppose. Not the biggest town, so I guess they would be a good asset to the community. You can see the change rooms look fairly old school in this shed part of the change rooms. So in the Minnanira, they used to just have one grade of juniors under 16 and a half, then the reserves and seniors. Now they have under 12s as well, due to the AFL, just AFL Victoria forcing them to. It's caused a few issues this year, but anyway, the good part about AFLW is that other clubs can get represented. So Penshurst had a player play in the AFLW for West Coast. Jess Wrench played for Penshurst against the boys. I think it's a bit sort of a mixed sort of competition in the juniors, and then went on to go to the higher levels. Typically, players would play for the Hamilton Kangaroos, I assume, if they were sort of at a higher level. But yeah, it's cool that a player from Penshurst was able to make the top level. The next ground on the way is Caramut. Now, we're only 45 minutes away from Warrnambool here. They're still in the Minnanira District League though. This is a bit more old school. The lights here don't seem to be the real modern ones, but anyway, they must get the job done for training. Not sure what the goal is with all these droppers placed all over the oval. They've mown a little bit here. I'm not really sure what's going on, to be honest, but Caramut are the Swans. As you can see, they've only won 3 Minnanira flags since joining from the Portland Port Fairy League in the late 60s, I believe. The hotel was about the only shop that I saw open in the town itself. You might be able to see just in here, Leon Cameron is actually from Caramut. To the left there, they have a photo of him. And then he must have went and played in Warrnambool after probably starting here his career before going on to play AFL and even coach AFL. There's actually a history of Caramut at the ground, which you don't really see at many footy grounds. Just a general history of the town. And Caramut actually comes from the local indigenous name, meaning plenty of possums. There's actually separate change rooms, or separate club rooms even, for the netball as well. Even though it's not too far away from the footy, it's just right next to it. It's quite good positioning. This smoke-free logo would have to be from the late 90s. North Melbourne used to wear smoke-free on their jumpers. I love this netball scorers box. It's got its own little... It's actually locked. Mate, well, I can just unlock it here. Why would that be locked? That's weird as. Anyway, no real point locking that. Nice little area though. You get cold wind here. The wind is even cold today, and it's meant to be like 20 degrees. Electric netball scoreboard, which is pretty impressive. Although it would be nice if the Swan logo here was holding a netball. For some reason, out the front of the ground, we have Winnie the Pooh playing a drum set, and then the Caramut Swans logo is on the drum set, and a mannequin wearing Carlton draft on its head. This became the ground in the late 1950s. We'll go and check out where the old footy ground in Caramut was. Now, this is someone's paddock. I'm not going to go in there. In there somewhere, there should be a cricket pitch. So this is where the old ground was. Just next to it we have the Caramut State School Memorial, and something is tickling my legs. Where are ya? Bloody dog. It's friendly anyway. So yeah, right across from this old ground is the State School Memorial. So I guess it was this building, I suppose. Alright, the next ground is Hexham, which is a very, very small place just down there. And the footy oval is here, but it's locked up. The oval is just down here and it's used for some sort of equestrian. Hexham played in the Mount Noorat League until 1984. And then obviously the ground has been repurposed, and I would need a contact there to maybe look in there one day, but we'll be on our way for now. The next town on the trip is Mortlake, and really nice oval, DC Farron Oval I believe they call it. Quite a nice area actually, but sadly they don't have a club of their own anymore in the footy. It seems like more of a cricket ground with all the sponsor signs that I keep seeing. Turf wicket here, so very nice. They've put a lot of work into this. So the footy club is Terang Mortlake, and they also have Mortlake as well. So in completely different leagues, Terang Mortlake are in the better Hampden League, and that's where Mortlake themselves used to play as well. And then Warndoo play a couple games here as well, and they're in the Minnera like we saw at the other grounds. So Mortlake were the Cats in the Hampden League, which is a major league of the Western District area, until 1998 when they merged with Derrinallum to form the Western Lions. Now this club only lasted for 2 years, and then Mortlake fell into Terang Mortlake. So I don't know if Terang have the upper hand in that merger. I find it hard to fully understand the situation. It's something that I'm sort of grasping, just learning a bit more about it. It's maybe a tricky situation compared to other clubs around the place. There's 1,500 people in Mortlake, and it was the 2000 season that the Western Lions played the very first round. They lost by 250 points, and then they wrapped it up. They played one game and they wrapped it up for the whole year, which was unfortunate. So I guess that really led to Mortlake being in this funny situation. It is one of the strangest mergers. They merged with the Terang Bloods, and they're still called the Terang Mortlake Bloods and wear exactly the same jumper. Pretty nice ground though. It's got great lights, the LED ones. Club rooms aren't too bad. I see more stuff about the Mortlake Cricket Club. There's no actual Terang Mortlake signs. There's no Warndoo Mortlake signs around either. So really quite different for a footy ground not to have sponsor signs like that. There is Terang Mortlake stuff inside, and there's also a jersey of Wareham. I think it's Georgia Wareham, who's an Australian cricketer in the women's team. Very nice courts here in a nice shade of blue, and then you got the old ones down the far side here, which probably don't get much of a run. So the entrance mentions the Mortlake Cricket Club first, then Terang Mortlake. No Warndoo Mortlake. I think they might only play a couple games here. But quite interesting for footy not to be, or football netball not to be named first. It's actually cricket. 15 minutes down the road and we've made it to Noorat, where Kolora Noorat play after merging in 2002. They now play in the Warrnambool district, but they used to be in the Heytesbury-Mount Noorat, home of the Noorat Cricket Club. Well, looking at this, they might have actually merged with Terang, which I wouldn't really expect, because Terang is actually a much larger place. There is a school here, there is a slight bit of a town. There's actually people camping in here as well, which you typically see in South Australian footy grounds more so than Victoria, from what I've seen. We're very much in dairy country here now. There were some nice fences along the way, stone fences, although there were actually wind turbines littering some paddocks, but it's mostly a very scenic place around here. Quite nice to visit actually. This sponsor board is pretty cool. It actually mentions some of the grounds or the old clubs around the place. So Glenormiston were the Bombers. We can't get there unfortunately. Noorat must have, originally they were Swans, and then they became the Bombers when they actually merged with Glenormiston. A bit hard to follow, but also there was a club called the Sisters wearing a Bulldogs jumper, and Kolora, they were the Magpies. And today in the Warrnambool district, Kolora Noorat are the Power. You might remember them from the game when Matthew Lloyd played in Warrnambool. He actually played against Kolora Noorat, and Old Collegians beat Kolora Noorat on that day. Canteen here, you've got the specific lollies, chips and sweets part here. Love this old sticker. And then there's the kids would love this section of the canteen here. Here is the timekeeper's box. Usually they're locked up, but we can see Warrnambool District, under 13s, 15s, 18s. They've got a lot of grades. 3 grades of juniors. Under 18s isn't very common for a district league, but I guess there's lots of people in Warrnambool. They actually play 18 minutes, the same as the Resis, the under 18s. Here we have a raffle ticket, Better Electrical, and then Warrnambool District goal scoring card. Pretty cool. This building here looks a bit newer than the others. Opened in 2011. It looks like it could just be storage. I don't know if it's change rooms or not. Electronic scoreboard over there. Don't know where the original one would have been, but really big facility here. And you got the show stuff out the back for the Noorat show, and really reminds me of a South Australian footy ground more so than Victorian, just because of all this area, which isn't super common. We are on the outskirts of the town, so I suppose there's a bit more extra area. Unfortunate they go around as the power, but it is what it is. Being a, Port Adelaide only started in the AFL in 97, so some clubs that started after that, for the next 5 years, like I think of Eden Hope Power, it's only natural. Clubs that start now, often the Giants or even the Suns. So that's just the way it goes. But I'm very happy to go to the first ever Heytesbury-Mount Noorat ground I've ever been to. So the footy ground's just down there, and a little bit down the road is the Noorat Gun Club, where Penny Smith is from, who won a bronze in the Olympics. He's one of the fences I mentioned, by the way, the stone fences. Very nice, very classic. But yeah, she's from here, and I think she might even play for Kolora Noorat. I think Brent Maloney might have even had a connection to Kolora Noorat as well, but I'm not sure if he actually played there. So I've checked into my motel at Camperdown, gone through Cobden, and now we are at Simpson, another former Heytesbury-Mount Noorat club. Now the Heytesbury-Mount Noorat only existed in the 90s, and it was a merge of the Heytesbury League and the Mount Noorat League. So we've already been to Noorat. Heytesbury is around Timboon, and Simpson would have been part of that league originally. Simpson are the Tigers, and when the league finished up in 2002, instead of going the Warrnambool way, they've gone the Colac way. So this is actually a current Colac and District Football League ground. The first time I've ever been to one of them as well. They won the Colac District League 2 times, 2014 and 15. A few little deals going on. Colac, Cobden Bakery supplying their stuff here. There's the old WorkSafe sign that you see at literally every ground. Quite a big oval. I think it's actually one of the widest ovals around. Apparently it's 144 metres wide. Getting in a bit of exercise walking across this oval. There's also people camping here as well. And I think it looks like they host a show here as well. So a lot of times in Victoria, a showgrounds and a footy oval, or a recreation reserve as they call them in Victoria, they'll be different, but in a few of these places it's actually the same place, which is probably more common in South Australia, as I said before. Similar to Mortlake, this scoreboard, also like the Mortlake oval, that's huge, and they don't even use the outside of it. I think just where the grass doesn't have any clippings, that's probably where they actually play. Still got the old lights here, so I wonder what the light situation is like for training, because the ground is so big. That's probably maybe the next upgrade. They might be chasing down a new lights maybe. They might be alright though. So I'm at a bucket list footy ground here at Princetown. We're on the Great Ocean Road near the 12 Apostles. This club played in the Heytesbury-Mount Noorat until 1998, and the best piece of country footy media I've ever seen was filmed here. I'll show a screenshot. It's not the greatest, they haven't named it very well, but yeah, it's a really good story on Princetown in the early 90s, and it really documents the Heytesbury-Mount Noorat well, or the Heytesbury League as it was before that. I believe they still play cricket here. The ocean is just down here, down that way. I can feel the breeze on my face, and there's a lot of people camping here. It's actually a proper camping ground, so I can't really show you heaps on here. Princetown were the Magpies, and they still go around as the Magpies in the cricket league they play in at the moment. I don't know how they lasted so long playing footy here. There's not really much of a town. It's like a real touristy area, so I don't know how they lasted. I don't know which way the goals were, maybe this end. I don't think they were down the club room end, but there's not a whole lot of footy stuff here anymore due to due to it being so heavily used as a camping ground. Change rooms here, looks like the canteen was there. Maybe the canteen was actually on the left there. I think the scoreboard was above this building somewhere. Sadly, there's not much to be seen of it. I thought it'd be a little bit more run down than what it actually is. They've removed the railing and it's replaced by a wooden fence. Some of the original railing still remains here next to the cricket net. No sign of the goalpost down this end, just a lot of kangaroo droppings on the ground. Here we are at Port Campbell now. This team actually folded before Princetown, strangely, and there's a lot more of a town here, but I think it's very much a holiday town. There's lots of sort of holiday houses around this area in Port Campbell. Good to see that there are footy goals here. It's got the typical plastic fence, plastic picket fence you see at all the cricket-only grounds, but it's still quite a nice area. And the strange thing is, it's actually got a turf wicket. Port Campbell didn't quite make the Heytesbury-Mount Noorat League. I think they finished up in 91 in the Heytesbury League. And then they had a junior side continue for a couple of years, I believe. But the seniors finished up in 91. Well, here's the turf wicket, and I'm not sure what to make of it. I thought it would be a little bit more pristine than what it might be. So do they still play here, or just haven't quite got it up to scratch yet? I'm not sure. Bloody lots of rabbits around here. It's actually, I think it might be 2 stories up there, and there's 3 different playgrounds. It's a good setup for kids, actually, I suppose. Like, a lot of kids come down here on school holidays and whatnot down at Port Campbell. Not sure where the old scoreboard is. There's not really much sign of it, and it is open for camping here as well, but just not as well probably advertised. This ground is an absolute gem, Scotts Creek. It has a soccer club. I've never seen a soccer club in such a rural location. There's literally people getting silage, making silage out the back there. Then we got cows overlooking here. Of course, it was the Scotts Creek Football Club, and they wore Fitzroy jumpers. They were in that Princetown video that I mentioned before. There is an old light tower remaining there, but this is the most remote soccer location I've ever seen. I actually play soccer myself, and I've never seen anything like it. The old courts are a little bit overgrown now. I've got here a little bit late. I've been a little bit short on time and haven't got as much on the camera, but this will be a really good video on the TikTok. Looks like this could have been a canteen. There's actually 2 soccer pitches out there. The bench here is in the red. I assume that's the red of Scotts Creek. There's not really much of a town. I might have bypassed it, but I don't really think there's much of town here. The Caramut Lions Soccer Club play here. Now, I assume they're getting players out of Timboon. That's the closest town. The Carangamite is sort of like a very general word. These club rooms were opened up in 1988, and the footy club lasted, and netball club as well, I assume, lasted until 1996.